Hey, what's up, y'all? Today I got the highly anticipated Magden build video. I know you guys have been waiting for this one. Been kind of busy, so I haven't recorded the audio for it, but I finally got it for y'all. This build I've been running all this patch, and I'll be running a next patch too with just a few minor tweaks that I'll let you guys know of in the future, but I'm gonna get started with it because y'all been waiting. So for the gear, start off with that. I'm running spinners, front bar, Nernhoned with sharpened offhand, flame glyph front bar. I don't run a frost because, I mean, yeah, the frost is good on warden because you have the passive, but flame's actually kind of glitched right now, and the burning is hitting really hard, and it's proccing constantly. Like the uptime's literally 100% on it. And then diseased offhand for the reduced healing. I really like diseased. Backbar, I'm running Vate. This is mainly for like 1v1s because I'm running Force Siphon in 1v1s, but open world, I run the Maelstrom. I just swap it out. And then I swap out Siphon Spirit, which is used with the Vate, and I swap that out for Corrupting Pollen in group play or Lotus Blossom. Also, you can swap out Blade Cloak for in group play for Bird of Prey. And I have a spinner hat light with tri-stat, and then heavy Heartland. The other set's a heavy Heartland chest. I'm running Heartland and spinners, so I'm running 2 pen sets. Pen is really good on mag. It scales really well. Like I have 15k pen without beetles. Like it's definitely, I've tried so many other setups, but running pen is just really good. Especially like I'm running 2 maces, I'm running spinners and Heartland. So I have so much pen, and pen hits super hard. It scales really well on mag classes. Not as well on stam because they build into more weapon damage, but you can scale pen really high and it hits super hard on mag. For the shoulder, I'm running Swarm Mother. You can swap this out for, like, you can run spinners here, spinner shoulder, and then for a head, I'll swap it out for maybe like 1-piece armor. That's usually what I do sometimes. But I like the 1-piece Swarm Mother because you get the damage and the stam. And I block a lot, so the stam's good. Then I have light spinner sash, light Heartland Conqueror gloves, heavy Heartland Conqueror legs, tri-stat enchant, and light spinner shoes. So it's 3 heavy. It's heavy reinforced legs, heavy reinforced chest, and heavy in pen shoulder, and the rest is light in pen. And then tri-stat enchants on the big pieces. And this is the interesting part. For the jewelry, I'm running Bloodthirsty. I've been trying Bloodthirsty, and it's better than Arcane and Infused in my opinion. Like the scaling on it, it hits super hard when people get low. And you don't have an execute on this class, so having like more pressure and just hitting people harder when they're low, it really helps finish them off. And it goes up to over 1,000 spell damage when they're, like, everyone has a lot of health, so it's about like 30-40%. You're hitting people almost maximum amount. So you're hitting people with like a 10k arterial burst just off of Bloodthirsty and the amount of damage you have on the build and the amount of pen, so it scales really well. Bloodthirsty, it's honestly probably my favorite trait now. And I feel like if you run Bloodthirsty, you have to run all 3 just because they stack really well on each other. Having 3 over 1,000 damage is just really good. So I'm running 2 spell damage and 1 recovery. And the last jeweler piece I almost forgot to mention was Malakath. Malakath's really good on this build because it stacks really well with the Warden passives that give you the flat damage, so your tooltips are really high. Like, keep in mind I'm in Bloodthirsty, so my tooltips, like, they could be like another 1 to 2k higher if I wasn't running Bloodthirsty. But it's like I still have a 14k arterial burst. I have a 19k deep fissure with a 20k Fletcher injection. So that's really good. The healing's really good too because I have almost 24k rapid, and I have a 7.1k Arctic because I'm running powered backbar to boost those heals because Arctic got nerfed, so you kind of need to run powered on Warden just to boost those heals more because they did take a big hit. But now that I'm talking about the skills, I'll get into that. Front bar Blue Betty, you get the 2% flat damage. It's better to run front bar than back bar, honestly, especially because there's nothing you can really swap it out to run back bar. Fletcher injection, really good. This dot hits insanely hard. Gives you 7% damage, 5% for hitting it, and 2% for slotting it, and the dot is like really good. Like I've hit people with like on their recaps, I've seen like 7, 8, 9k Fletcher injections. Bird of Prey, like I said, you can swap this out for Blade Cloak, open world, and group play which I actually like to do. The AoE mitigation's really good. D-Fisher, bread and butter skill. Always try and keep this up, like every 2 skills. Arterial burst, that's what makes this build really interesting, is the use of a melee Magden and using arterial burst. I think this is why a lot of people are running my build now. Like, I've seen so many people running this, is just because arterial burst hits super hard on Magden, just like I said, because of the scaling with Malakath and the Warden passives here, the 8%. And then the ultimate I'm running is Northern Storm. Reason I don't have this back bar for the extra 500 spell and physical resistance and bear front bar for the 2% damage is because I want the 12% Maggot stam recovery on my back bar as well as my front bar, so I just flip-flop them. And then for the CP, I'm running Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, Biting Aura, and Duelist Rebuff. These 2 right here really buff your arterial burst damage like a lot. And then obviously Biting Aura for the beetles. And then Duelist Rebuff. The single target's definitely the best reduction CP. For the red CP, Survival Instincts, I really like this because the main way I play defensively is, like, I usually run 2 damage sets and then I just block and dodge a lot to, like, defend. Juggernaut's the best slottable for red, definitely. The 10%'s really good. Next patch, when it gets nerfed to 5, I'll probably swap this out, but for now, it's really good. Rejuvenation, this puts me at about, like, 1600 recovery, which I feel like is the sweet spot on Magden. Like, I have enough sustain where I barely have to heavy attack, and I have really good, with the Vate staff, I have like infinite sustain, and even without it, when I run the Maelstrom staff, like I still have really good sustain. The last one is Balanced Vitality, just to increase the Arctic Wind heal, because you kind of need it, because it got nerfed. But other than that, buffed up. I'll show you the tooltips real quick. So back bar, like you have good resistances, 25k spell and 20k physical. I am a Breton on this spec, and I'm running stage 1 vamp. I'm not running stage 3. You can run stage 3, but you'd have to switch out 2 of the damage glyphs for 2 recovery glyphs, and you're also losing stamp sustain because that cost increase is also applies to stam skills, which it's a big hit, especially if you're in open world and you're not running the Vate staff. But front bar, I have 34k mag, almost 29k health, 21k stam, which is really good, especially with Survival Instincts. You have a lot of stam, and Siphon Spirit up, which gives you stam, like the Vate staff. That you really have a lot of stam. That's probably the sweet spot for mag recovery. 16k, 1600. That's probably where I like it. The spell damage. Let me buff up again. 4.4k spell damage. That's a lot of spell damage on this build. Especially I'm running dual maces. I'm not even running a sword. Like look at my spell pen. That's really high. Like I have 14k spell pen, and I don't even, like, with beetles up, you're at like 20k pen. Then that's hitting super hard on mag, because like I said, they scale really well with pen. Crit resist about 2k, and then like I said, the spell and physical resistances are over 20k on your back bar, which is good. But other than that, that's really about it. It is kind of tough to play on a class that doesn't have a true stun. You kind of got to get used to the Arctic Blast stun and time it in your head and like line it up with the beetles and shit. But the more you play it, the more you get used to it. And honestly, you'll really enjoy this kind of spec, because melee Magden it's all the hype now, just because of how hard it hits and just the amount of pressure you can do just with using arterial burst and beetles combo with the dot. Like, you can really melt people down with this build. It hits extremely hard. Like, it hits like a stam blade almost. That's how hard it hits. But other than that, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching it, and see you later.